Your mindset, or how you handle problems, is holding you back from success. If you don't change it, it will keep you stuck in a rut for the rest of your life. Let me explain. In the 1960s, psychologist Martin Seligman and his team ran an important experiment with 3 groups of dogs. The first group was placed in a cage and later let out. This group didn't experience any shocks and served as the control. The second group was also caged, but received small electric shocks. They could turn off the shocks by pressing a panel with their noses. They quickly learned that their actions could stop the shocks and were able to manage them. The third group also got shocks, but their panel didn't work. They couldn't stop the shocks, as their panel was controlled by the second group's panel. To them, it seemed like the shocks happened randomly. They soon learned that nothing they did would stop the shocks. After this, the researchers moved all 3 groups to a new setup, a grid with a small barrier separating 2 areas. One side of the grid was electric, and the other side was not. The dogs could escape the shocks by jumping over the barrier to the safe side. The first and second groups quickly jumped over and avoided the shocks. However, the third group, which had learned that their actions didn't matter, just lay down and didn't try to escape. Even with the barrier right in front of them, they didn't attempt to get away. The researchers had to physically move these dogs back and forth until they realized they could escape. This behavior is known as learned helplessness. The dogs, having experienced a lack of control before, believed they had no control now. Similar results have been seen in humans too. You might have faced something similar in your own life. Maybe you tried hard to find a partner, get fit, earn more money, or improve your grades but failed. These setbacks might have led you to believe you're just not good enough. You might think things like, "I'm just not good at studying. I'm bad with money. I'm unlovable. I'm not athletic." These negative thoughts can become part of your identity. If you think you're bad at math, you might expect poor grades and put in less effort. When you get those bad grades, it confirms your belief and makes you even less willing to try. This is a cycle of learned helplessness, where you feel powerless to change your situation. Not everyone responds to setbacks the same way. In experiments, about 1 in 3 subjects didn't show learned helplessness. Why is this? And can we learn from it? Let's look at 2 people, Bob and Lily, who both lost their jobs in a big company layoff. Bob felt crushed and thought he would never find work again. Lily, on the other hand, saw it as a temporary setback and believed she would eventually find another job. Even though Bob only faced a setback at work, he started to believe he was a failure at everything. He thought he was worthless and lacked talent in all areas of life. Lily, on the other hand, knew that wasn't true for her. Even though she had a setback in her job, she knew she was still good at other things. Bob thought his firing meant he wasn't good enough at his job and blamed himself entirely. He didn't consider any other reasons. Lily understood she might not have been the best employee, as she was new, but she believed her skills were still valuable. She thought the company just didn't need her right now. Bob and Lily had different ways of explaining their situation. Firstly, Bob saw his failure as permanent, while Lily saw it as temporary. Secondly, Bob thought his failure meant he was bad at everything, while Lily thought it was just a job issue, and she was still good in other areas. Thirdly, Bob blamed himself for the failure, while Lily blamed the current job market conditions. Same event, different perspectives. While many people fall into helplessness, some people tell themselves a more positive story. You can learn to do this too. However, both Bob and Lily felt sad and helpless initially. Failure hurts everyone, like a punch in the stomach. For some, the pain fades quickly, but for others, it lingers for days, months, or even years. How you explain setbacks to yourself is crucial, especially if you have big goals. Achieving greatness involves facing failures and obstacles. While failure can make you feel helpless, it's also a chance to grow and eventually succeed. So, start changing the way you think about setbacks to help you keep going and taking action. First, recognize your negative thought patterns. These patterns were formed in childhood and become automatic by adulthood, going unnoticed. Journaling can help. Write down your negative beliefs like, I'm an angry person. I'm bad in social situations. I'm terrible at everything. Then, challenge these beliefs. Repeating negative thoughts can make them seem true, but they aren't necessarily accurate. Find evidence that contradicts these negative beliefs. Maybe you've struggled in social situations, but think about times when you did well. Can you find ways to recreate those situations? We often forget the times when we were the opposite of what we believe. Notice those moments, and you might realize you're not as helpless as you think. Finally, try to reframe your automatic thoughts into more positive explanations. For example, if someone you like rejects you, your mind might start saying things like, "I'm unlovable. I'll never find anyone. Women or men hate me." These are the same negative thoughts Bob had, and you need to challenge them. You could think, "It was just this person who rejected me. I can be loved. There's someone out there for me." This isn't about making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It's about creating a more positive story for yourself so you don't feel stuck and can move forward instead of dwelling on self-defeat. Believing you have control can greatly impact your life positively, and this has been proven many times. For instance, when African American and Latino students were struggling in school, researchers tried a simple intervention. They taught the students about fixed and growth mindsets. A fixed mindset means believing that your traits are unchangeable. People with this mindset avoid challenges because failure seems to prove they're not good enough. In contrast, a growth mindset means believing you can improve your skills and qualities with effort and hard work. People with this mindset embrace challenges because they see them as opportunities to grow. The students were also taught that the brain can develop new connections and grow with learning. As a result, these students started improving and catching up. Another group of students, who didn't receive this teaching, continued to fall behind. So, simply believing you can change and improve can make a big difference in how you handle life. At first, those students thought of themselves as bad students, and they were, but they also felt they couldn't change that. When they were shown that they could get better with effort, they started improving. They began to pay more attention in class, take better notes, and learn how to study effectively. This made them better students. Gradually, they started seeing themselves as good students, which motivated them even more. It created a positive feedback loop. Our beliefs influence our actions, and our actions reinforce our beliefs. It works both ways. You need to start by taking small actions that support a positive belief about yourself. These actions don't need to be big. Just do something small consistently every day. It's better to make small daily efforts than to do something big once in a while. Consistency is key. Over time, these small actions can lead to bigger changes. If you want to make lasting changes, start with something you can do every day to get the loop started. As we end this video, remember that your past doesn't have to control your future. Setbacks are tough, but they're not forever and don't have to keep you stuck. You have the power to change, grow, and improve. Your mindset and actions can make a big difference, and a better life might be just one step away. Believe that you can do it because you can. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. I hope you learned something new today and feel better than yesterday.